hit that subscribe button and the bell icon beside it to check out our latest videos before anyone else. Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech and these are the 30 best features of Vivo V7 and some important tips and tricks. First I'll go through the hardware features, then the software features, and at the end we'll look at some important tips and tricks. Now let us start with the best features. One of the most highlighting features of this phone is its display. It has a 5.7-inch HD plus IPS LCD display in a new 18:9 aspect ratio. So you're getting a bigger screen that can fit comfortably in your single hand. You can use it for the most part in a single hand too. I really wish they could have gone with a full HD plus resolution, but for regular tasks like Facebook and browsing, you won't notice much difference in resolution. Now the next best thing about this phone is its processor. It comes with a Snapdragon 450 processor with Adreno 506 GPU. Even though it is just an entry-level processor, it is quite good. This processor is built using the 14nm architecture, just like the Snapdragon 625 seen in the Redmi Note 4 and the Redmi Note 5. So even though this phone comes with a smaller 3000 mAh battery, you can expect some pretty good battery life. The same goes even for gaming. It comes with the same GPU, Adreno 506, seen in the Snapdragon 625, and as this phone has a smaller resolution, you can play most of the high-end games with minimal heating issues. The next highlighting feature of this phone is its front-facing camera. This phone packs a 24 megapixel front-facing camera with an f2.0 aperture with a soft LED light. Well, these phones are really about selfies, and this phone does take some great selfies. Next we have portrait mode for the front and rear cameras. Even though this phone comes just with a single camera on the front and back, it still tries to provide us portrait mode for the front and rear cameras. It doesn't work very well for the rear camera, edge detection is pretty bad, but for the front facing camera, portrait mode works really well. Next we have Face Unlock. Yes, just like the iPhone X and the OnePlus 5T, we can unlock the phone just by using our phone. Setting it up is super easy and it unlocks the phone very quickly. I tried to fake it with a photo and video, it didn't work. So it is not 100% secure, but pretty secure enough. Next, this phone comes with a dedicated SD card slot. It is very rare these days to find a phone with a dedicated SD card slot in this price segment with all these features. So once again, a pretty good feature. Next, we have some fingerprint gestures. Once you enable these two toggles, we can do a swipe down gesture on the fingerprint scanner to pull down the notification bar. And we can simply touch the fingerprint scanner in the default camera app to take pictures. Next, we have App Clone. We have a feature called App Clone, which allows us to use two versions of the same app. You just need to enable this toggle and go to the home screen and enter the edit mode. You will be able to see a plus button for the apps that support this feature at the bottom right corner. As of now, WhatsApp, WeChat, Facebook and Instagram support this feature. Soon we might be able to use other apps too. Next we have Smart Split. All the phones running Android Nougat and above offer split screen mode. But this phone has a heavily skinned version of Android, so Vivo offers us a stripped down version of it. It only works on some applications like Facebook, WhatsApp and Video Player. You can also do a swipe gesture with 3 fingers to start this mode. You can resize the window, click the button at the center, switch the two applications, close one of them, and even open a new applications from the limited list. I really wish Vivo can give us an update and allow us to use this feature with all the apps. Next we have Smart Click. In settings, we have the option for Smart Click. It's a quick shortcut that allows you to perform some actions when we press and hold the volume down button on the lock screen. I prefer to use the flash. When the phone is locked, press the volume down button to toggle the flash. By the way, it doesn't work if you're playing music. You can also choose a different action like recording audio, opening the camera app and do other stuff. Next we have one-handed mode. If this phone is too big for your hand, you can enable the one-handed mode from the settings. You can use this quick gesture to enter the mode and do the same once again to come out of it. We can also enable one-handed mode for keypad and pattern locks. Next we have wireless display. We can use this feature to mirror the screen of your phone to a smart TV or a Chromecast. As you can see, there are literally a lot of screen gestures from unlocking the phone to opening multiple applications with different gestures. Here are some. We can do a slide down gesture to take a photo, draw a C to open the phone dialer, draw E to open the browser, and draw W for WhatsApp. It works really well, but if you lock your phone, it will ask you to unlock the phone every time you use a gesture. Next we have Air Operations. First we have blank screen gesture. Just enable this toggle and simply swipe over the proximity sensor when the phone is locked to have a quick glance at the notifications and time. It's a cool feature to show off. But this phone doesn't have an AMOLED screen, so if you keep doing that, it will drain the battery. It also has air unlock, but I couldn't make it work. And it's pretty useless if you lock your phone, so just skip it. Next we have double tap to wake and double tap to sleep. This is probably my favorite feature of all. Once you enable these two toggles, you can simply double tap the phone to wake it up and double tap it to put it back to sleep. This feature works really well along with face unlock. By the way, double tap to sleep only works on the lock screen and the default launcher. Next we have rise to wake. Once you enable this toggle, you can simply lift your phone from a table when it is locked to wake it up. It's once again something that might come in handy. Next we have Smart Keep Bright. Yes, it's a very odd name. Once you enable this toggle, it will use the front camera to see if you are using the phone, and if you are using the phone, it keeps the screen on. It's a cool feature. I hope it doesn't drain the battery. Next we have a lot of smart call features, which I suggest you to check out yourself. You can put your phone near the ear to make a call or lift the call, pull the phone back from your ear to turn on the speaker mode, swipe over the proximity sensor to lift the call, and do some other stuff. Next we have shake to turn on the flash. Once you enable this toggle, you can shake the phone in the lock screen or home screen to turn on the flash. You can press the power button to turn it off. If you are using double tap to sleep, it is kinda hard to use this feature. So I'll suggest you to stick with the smart click feature where we can toggle the flash using the volume down button. Next we have tilt to zoom pictures. Once you enable this toggle, when you're in the default gallery app, you can touch the screen and tilt the phone to zoom in and zoom out. Once again, something you can really show off. Next we have flashlight reminder. Once you enable this toggle, every time you get a call or message, LED light on the back flickers and gives you a visible indication. It will come in handy if you use this phone in silent mode and can't hear the ring. Next we have global eye protection. This feature is also called as night mode and reading mode in other phones. You can turn it on by using the toggle or based on a specific time, which is very cool. This mode protects your eyes at night by filtering blue light, but as of now, we can't change the intensity of this tint. Next we have gaming mode. Using this feature, we can block and reject calls and block all floating previews while playing games. We can even configure it to a specific game. I think this is a very handy feature if you like to play a lot of games without any disturbance. Next we have sliding gestures. Unlike previous Vivo phones, this phone has on-screen buttons, and from here we can change the button position, and if you want to try something new, we can go with the sliding gestures. It just gives you a more immersive experience. You can slide from the left for the control center, slide at the center for home screen, and slide at the right side for back button. Next we have face beauty mode. This feature allows you to use beauty mode even while making video calls from apps like WhatsApp. It just makes you look pretty even on a video call. Most of the phones doesn't offer this feature. Next we have Super Saver mode. There is an awesome feature called Super Saver mode in your control center. Once you enable this mode, screen brightness goes down, all the applications will be stopped, and you will get very limited set of options like calls and messages. But this mode will drastically improve your battery life. Use this mode when you are on very low battery, maybe 5 or 6%, and you don't want your phone to die on you. Next we have Super Screenshots. To take a screenshot on this phone, you can simply press the volume down and power button. But if you are having a hard time or want additional features, we have Super Screenshot. Just open the notification bar and press this toggle. We can take long screenshots, just press the next button to keep it scrolling. We can take rectangular shots, we can draw doodles and take screenshots with all kinds of shapes. And finally, we can also record the screen. Next we have an app lock built into the phone itself, which makes it more safe and secure. On this phone, it's called privacy and app encryption. For the first time, you need to set up a password and then select the apps that you want to lock, and then select the applications that you want to lock. You can also choose to unlock these locked applications using your fingerprint scanner. To use the fingerprint scanner, you need to enable this toggle in the fingerprint settings. Now once you open a locked application, it will ask you to enter the password or use your fingerprint. I think this is a very handy feature for people with privacy concerns. Next we have Task Timer. It is a separate section for automation tasks where we can power on and off at a specific time automatically, go offline at a specific time, make the phone vibrate at a specific time, and it even has a countdown for vibration. I really don't know who needs it, but if you want, you can give it a try. Finally, we have network management. This feature can be found in a separate app called iManager, where we can block applications from accessing internet over mobile data and Wi-Fi. If you're a normal user, you might not need it, but if you're an advanced user or if you have a specific requirement, this is once again a super handy feature. So guys, those were the 30 best features of the Vivo V7. Now let's look at some important tips and tricks. First, I'll start with YouTube. On YouTube, while you're watching videos, you can see these black bars on the side, and to get rid of them, you can simply do this gesture and it'll go full screen. This is something you should definitely know if you're using a phone with the 18:9 aspect ratio. Almost all the phones support this feature. Next, if you swipe from the bottom, we get this control center. Over here we have all the recent tabs, and over here we have some toggles. Now at the bottom we have these 3 dots. If you click over here, it'll take you to this page where you can rearrange them, add or remove toggles too. So to rearrange them, you can simply do this, and to remove them, you can simply drag them down. Next, I'll show you how to change your default home launcher or the default music player or the default video player. Just go to settings, then select more settings. Now select applications and then select default app settings. From here we can change the default home launcher, default browser, default music player, default email application, default phone dialer, and even the default camera application. Next, in settings, if we go to display settings, we have an option for full screen. This phone has an 18:9 aspect ratio, which is pretty new, and most of the apps do not support this aspect ratio. So just in case, if you ever find an app that is not completely filled, like this one, you can simply tap in the blank area over here and press OK, or simply go to full screen settings and enable this toggle to make it full screen. Next, in settings, if you go to fingerprint and face settings, in face settings, we have this option called quick recognition. When you enable this, facial recognition works very quickly, but it is slightly unsecure. If you disable it, it might take a second more, but it makes it a little bit more secure. Like you won't be able to unlock your phone with a picture of you or a video of you. Next, in settings, we have this option for OTG. This phone has a micro USB charging port and it does support OTG, but it is disabled by default. So if you want to use an OTG pen drive, just enable this toggle and then use a OTG pen drive and it will work. Next, if we go to status bar and notification, from here we can display the network usage on the status bar and even the battery percentage. You just need to enable these toggles. Next, if you go back in more settings, we have this option or a toggle for notification light. This phone has a LED notification light, and if you want to use it, you need to enable this toggle, and if you don't want to use it, disable it. Next, we have this option for control center. So this is the control center, and if you don't want it to pop up on regular applications, you can disable this option and it won't open in any application. Let's say you're in settings and if you swipe from the bottom, control center will not open. The same applies even for other applications like albums, Play Store, or any other application. If you want to open the control center, you need to go to the home screen. Once again, I think this is pretty handy if you're annoyed by the control center popping up every time. Next, we have auto lock. We can change the display sleep time using these settings. So if you want your display to turn off automatically after 15 seconds, choose the first option. I usually go with 30 seconds. Next, in settings, if you go to albums, we have these additional options. Like when you're in the album app, screen doesn't turn off if you enable this option. And if you enable this option, auto rotate will turn on automatically when you're using the album application. Similarly, we have additional settings over here for phone dialer, contacts, messaging, and even the calendar. Finally, this phone even has themes. It should be in the name of iThemes, and all it does is change the wallpaper and icons. So if you're really interested in customizing your phone, I would suggest you to install a Nova launcher, getting a good wallpaper app, and installing a separate icon pack. So guys, those were the important tips and tricks for your Vivo V7. I hope I didn't miss out on any features or tips. If I did, do let me know by commenting below this video. If you are planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It really helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter, and we will try to make it as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to see more cool videos on tech. I'm Nikhil from Greedy Tech signing off. Have a nice day.